Hello students, we are continuing with chapter 1, The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse. This is video part 2. Till now we have studied that Murad have stolen the horse and he is asking Aram if he wanted to ride the horse or not. Let us continue further. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you were crazy about horses the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't stealing. It wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse, which of course I knew we would never do. For Aram, stealing a horse for a ride was not actually a stealing. If you are crazy about horses and they just got the horse for riding, then it is not considered as stealing at all. If we would take someone's horse and sell it by calling it our own horse, then it might be known as stealing, but this, what we did, is not stealing at all. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry. I leaped into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. Aram told Murad that he is going to put on some clothes and come for the ride. He jumped down to the yard from the window and sat on the horse behind Murad. That year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches and country roads. In less than 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue, and then the horse began to trot. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest members of our family, began to sing. He began to roar. Aram's family at that time lived at the edge of the town, on Walnut Avenue. Behind their house was vineyards, orchards, country roads, etc. In just 3 minutes or less, they reached Olive Avenue. Now, the horse ran faster. Air was lovely. Riding on horse was enjoyed by both of them. Everyone considered Murad as the craziest member of their family. Suddenly, Murad began to sing. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our uncle Khosrow, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest moustache in St. Joachim Valley. A man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring, "It is no harm. Pay no attention to it." It is said that in every family or tribe there is one person who is crazy. In Aram's family, it was Murad's uncle Khosrow. It is believed that Khosrow's craziness is transferred to Murad. Uncle Khosrow was an enormous man, a huge man. He had black hair and a huge moustache in the entire valley. He was so furious and impatient. He always kept on repeating one line, which was, "It is no harm. Pay no attention to it." That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once, it was his own son Arak running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his moustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared, "It is no harm. Pay no attention to it." The barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khosrow roared, "Enough! It is no harm, I say." Once, Khosrow's house was on fire. He was sitting in the barber's shop when his son Arak came running and told him that their house was on fire. Khosrow rose from his chair and said, "It is no harm. Pay no attention to it." Barber told that your son is saying your house is on fire. He again roared, "I said there is no harm in it." My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Zorab, who was practical and nothing else. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been, from the beginning, capricious and vagrant. Murad's crazy behavior was always associated with his uncle Khosrow, although Murad's father Zorab was a practical man. This happened in their tribe. A man could be biological father of his son's body, but not his soul. A father cannot control the spirit of his son. Aram says their tribe consists of many such spirits, which means many such people who are idle and wander without aim. We rode and my cousin Murad sang. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. While thinking about all this, they were riding on the horse. Murad was still singing. They were still in the old country area where many people knew them. They set the horse free to run as much as it liked. At last, my cousin Murad said, "Get down. I want to ride. Alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." Suddenly, Murad said to Aram to get down off the horse. He wanted to ride it alone. Aram asked, "Will you allow me to ride alone?" To which Murad replied, "It's up to the horse whom he wants to allow to ride on it." And Murad and horse had a special bonding. "Well," I said, "anyway, you have with a horse, I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." Aram said to Murad, "If you have a bonding with the horse, then I too have the same bonding with him." Murad said, "It is not safe. Get down off the horse." Aram told Murad that he has to allow him to ride the horse at least once, that too alone. I got down and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazire, run!" Aram got down off the horse and Murad kicked his heels and shouted the horse to run. We will continue in the next video.